Okay, 1 minute past one, so we can get this session started. Looks like I have built up a fan base today. I'm glad to see a lot of the faces that I've seen this morning. Um, let's get into it. Into this online tools for effective educational video. In this session, I'm just going to show you a couple of things very briefly because it can get quite complicated. So I just want to spark an interest with you. The rules of engagement are the same as always with my sessions. If you want to interrupt me, feel free to do so. You don't have to raise your hand. Just unmute yourself and start speaking to me and interrupt me. Okay, in this session, we're going to have a look at MS Teams meetings, the platform that we are using at the moment. And I'm going to show you how to set up a meeting there. And we're going to have a quick look at YouTube. And then the one I feel I am going to get a lot of questions about, and I'm probably not going to be able to answer you, is ChatGPT. And I'm sure you have heard of ChatGPT by now. Let's get into, well, before we start, is there any preemptive questions from anyone? Expectations? Okay, let's get going with MS Teams meetings. And a couple of things that I need you to keep in mind. I know a lot of us do this, but it is not ideal for content delivery. It is actually not an ideal way to present your class. The ideal way to present your class is to get your students to watch the recordings of your classes beforehand, and then to rather have MS Teams or a classroom and use it as a means of connecting with your students, having discussions, having breakout rooms, things like that. So discussions and little work, actual active engagement with the content. It's also a great tool if you want to do revision sessions before exams. If you know that there are things that your students have difficulty with, have little revision sessions with them using MS Teams. So I'm going to show you how to set up a meeting in MS Teams. And for that, I'm going to open my diary and I am going to go into a session that has already expired. Get one. Okay, let's use this ALP one. I don't have on. I have to get one that I have set up. Okay, let's use this one. If you open, once you have created a Teams meeting and you double click to open it in your diary, you will see you've got all these options, but at the bottom, you have got meeting options. And if you click on meeting options, this opens a web page where you can do extra settings on your Teams meetings. So when you are setting up a revision class or an interactive class, this is where you need to go, and hopefully something won't go wrong. Let's try refreshing it. This might be because of the fact that it has already passed. So let's just create one from scratch for tomorrow. Going to create a Teams meeting. And Cindy, I am going to invite you to this classroom. Let's just give it a title. And then Cindy, I am going to invite you to this meeting because I want you to present at this meeting. So Cindy, if you can just check your email and just accept that meeting that I've just scheduled. that okay with you, Cindy? Sorry that I'm picking on you.
It's fine. I accepted it.
Okay, great. So now I've got a meeting and I double click on it, and now I can go to the meeting options and start changing settings. Just control click to open that web page. And this will give me some wonderful ways of organizing what can happen in my meetings. And it seems that MS Teams is not working with us today. What a joy. Why is this being blocked? Just allow that.
Yes, I had the same problem logging into your first lecture this morning. And I had to restart everything, and then it worked.
Having trouble signing you in. Yeah, I'm going to try one last time. And this is why it is better to have these things pre-recorded. Nope. We are not going anywhere with that. Okay. But what I want you to do then on your own, so this becomes homework for you, is to create a Teams meeting like this and go to that meeting options. Over there, you will find things that are pretty self-explanatory, but there you can set in your meeting who you want to be able to present, who you want to be able to switch on and off their cameras and their microphones, and all kinds of things like that. You can even set the meeting to automatically record once the meeting starts. Okay. Is that something that you would find useful?
Yes.
So that just helps you manage your meeting so that you don't have a bunch of students coming into this virtual classroom and switching on microphones, unmuting themselves, etc., etc. You can, however, during that meeting, if you are a meeting organizer or the person who set it up, you can go to your attendees, and on this right-click more options, those three dots, if you click there, you will have options here of allowing microphone and allowing camera. So then you can manage your students in that way.
Chris?
Yes.
I got that options open. Do you want me to share it?
Yes, please share your screen. Although you're probably not going to be able.
Can you see it?
Yeah, because I can see it. Okay.
Okay, there it is.
So these are the options you have. So the first one, who can bypass the lobby? And that is basically like someone who's waiting in the lobby now and I have to allow them in. If you say everyone, that means everyone just comes in without having this ping ping and you having to allow them to come in. The next option, people dialing in can bypass the lobby. Just close that drop down.
Okay.
So the people dialing in can bypass the lobby. That I would also say set to yes, so that you don't have to worry about letting people into the meeting. The next one is announce when people dial in or leave, to join or leave. That is that ping ping that you keep on hearing in meetings. So that is a wonderful thing to switch it off, because you don't want to listen to this ping ping the whole time.
Sorry, Chris, can I interrupt you, please?
Yes, please do.
I set mine like that, and I still get the incessant pinging and people stuck in the lobby. Why could that be?
Did you click save once you're done?
Normally I do it in the meeting, so maybe I must do it before the meeting starts.
Yes, it needs to be set up before the meeting starts.
Okay, because it drives me insane. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Once the meeting starts, you can't change these settings anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
All comes in with your planning. So setting up your classroom beforehand. Okay. Then you can choose co-organizers. And co-organizers have the ability to mute and unmute and have that level of control. So if you've got someone that helps you organize your classes, for instance, keeping an eye on the chat and keeping an eye on the guests in your meeting becomes difficult. So it's always great to have someone to just help you, especially if you've got large groups. Okay? So that's your co-organizers. The next point is who can present, and there, people that you've invited, you can give specific people access to presenting in class. Okay. Then the obvious ones, allow mic for attendees and allow camera for attendees. These I would usually switch off during large meetings. This is also if you're organizing a conference or something like that. It's great to have these switched off, then you don't have people playing with their cameras and stuff. And sometimes you see really interesting videos. Okay. Record automatically. That would automatically record so that you don't forget to record your session. Meeting chat, that allows the chat feature. Allow reactions, that is for clapping hands and thumbs up and things like that. It's great to have that switched on. The card captions is if it also goes hand in hand with this language interpretation. That is not something that we would normally use. And then Q&A, I prefer just using the chat room, but you can use a Q&A if you want, and you can switch that on. And then allow an attendance report. It's always great to have an attendance report. And once you've got your settings to where you want them to be, you click save, and then your session should work perfectly. Any questions on MS Teams? Nothing. Okay, so I am going to start sharing my... Yes.
Can I just ask you?
Please do.
When trying to share my screen, there's an option wherein, for example, if I'm sharing using PowerPoint, in the past, I would be able to view my screen and also see the participants on either the right or at the top, but I don't know if there's something I'm doing wrong on my side because I don't have that functionality anymore. I don't know if it's PowerPoint Live or preview of something, but we used to have those options, but now it's grayed on my side. I'm not even able to choose it.
When you go into the sharing button,
yeah,
you have got different options there. Sadly, I can't show this to you while sharing. I can't show you the sharing while I'm sharing. But just read your options there. What I prefer doing is just sharing a screen. Having two screens, having my laptop connected to an external screen. That way I can keep an eye on everything. But the way you share these things, if you share the PowerPoint, for instance, that will allow your audience to control the PowerPoint on their side without affecting your presentation. So you need to decide what is going to work better for you there.
I'm not sure if I'm answered.
Yeah, you're talking about being able to see your PowerPoint slideshow and the audience at the same time.
Yeah.
And that will depend on how you share. So if you share your screen, then you will be able to see both.
Okay, and then if I'm sharing from the window, then I won't be able to see them.
Then you should be able to see both.
Okay.
But just play around with those settings and you will get different results depending on what you select.
Okay.
Louise?
Good afternoon. Thank you. Before you move on to YouTube, can you please show us how to create polling and breakaway rooms?
Let's get that in there. Okay. You've got all these. I'm going to take Teboga's question before I answer you. It might be something similar. Setebogo.
Okay. Hi, thanks, Chris. I just to take you back a little bit on what you said about MS Teams not being good for content delivery. Can you just elaborate more on that? For example, okay, if it's not for content delivery, I take it for lecturing, but can we present, for instance, workshops?
Ideally, when we're talking about the perfect educational scenario, you would use your online platform just to deliver content. So pre-recorded information for classes. And then you would use this. It's the same with a classroom. Using a classroom for content delivery is also not the ideal. A classroom should be a place where knowledge is being, what's the word I'm looking for? Is being implemented. So ideally, your content would come before you get to a classroom, before you get to a lecturer, so that the student have already got a background before they come into a classroom.
Okay, I think I get it a little bit.
It comes back to that flipped classroom model. Okay. But that is the ideal. We don't live in an ideal world. So if you are using MS Teams for content, it is not the end of the world. Rather that than not doing anything at all.
Okay.
When I'm speaking about things, I'm talking about the perfect world, and we do not live in a perfect world. Same with my presentation this morning on PowerPoint for Education. That is, in a perfect world, you would do all of those things. We do not live in a perfect world. Okay.
Got it.
Okay, some more functionality here of Teams. If you go to this More button, you will have record and transcribe. You've got meeting info that gives you all of that information. Effects and avatars if you want to start playing around, language and speech. Settings, here you can set up if you've got different microphones connected, like you've got a built-in microphone and a headset, for instance. You can select which one should be used, okay? Things like that. And all kinds of video settings if you've got an external webcam, and you can mirror your video, those kinds of settings. You have got call me if you want to link someone with a telephone, but I don't think this is a feature that we've got at the university. Then we've got apps, and here we've got different apps that we can use inside of MS Teams, like Excel or Word and things like that. And then you can have interactivity between everybody in the meeting. So then you would use apps instead of just sharing a screen, then everybody can interact. Rooms, this is your breakout rooms. Here you can create breakout rooms and you select how many rooms you want to create, up to 10. Okay, let's say 2. And then you can either assign people or automatically will split your people. Teams will assign 13 to 14 people to each room. So I suppose there's just under 30 people in this meeting at the moment. And once I click that, create rooms, it would automatically split everybody out into breakout rooms. You can go do it manually and thereby selecting which students you want to send to which room. Okay, does that make sense? Is that clear?
Sorry, it's me again.
Yes.
I don't have the room option. I'm looking at my MS Teams. I don't have the little icon that says rooms. Where can I find that?
You won't have it because you didn't create this meeting.
Okay.
If you create a meeting, then these options will appear.
All right, thank you.
So once again, you need to set up that classroom and that will give you those controls. If I were to make you beforehand, if I would have made you a co-organizer, then you would have access to these tools. Yeah. So it is always, if you are going to lecture together with another colleague, then you need to have these co-organizer settings set up beforehand. There was something else you asked about, Louise. It was the breakout rooms, and
there's a polling option that you can ask questions and the people can interact and they can, it's live feedback, you know, like a polling, like a voting kind of thing. I've seen it somewhere, but I don't know how to use it.
Yes, me
I'm
too.
trying to remember
Thanks,
where it is.
Louise.
I'm going to have to get back to you on that one. Or
Yes, I think it's in the chat box somewhere, at the bottom of the chat box.
Yes, that's correct.
And if you go to the bottom somewhere, there's a polling option.
three.
The students love it.
More apps, approvals.
Thought it was there.
You know,
Maybe not. Sorry.
Sorry?
Sorry, I thought it was down there.
No, not a problem at all. Let's just do this. We go to YouTube, and then we type into YouTube how to do polling in MS Teams. Here we go. Whee!
I'll be showing how to make a
2 minutes.
Teams and all pre-installed apps. I'm going to go to the ... menu, and you're going to see Forms. Click Forms.
Yeah. Forms versus advanced polling.
By hovering right here, and I can click.
Okay. Or poll during meeting. Let's say poll in Teams.
Part of the team thing, but you and your friends decide.
I am skipping forward here.
Select the plus sign and open polls.
Plus polls. So it should be in here. Let me just open this again. In the chat. Why do I not have polls here? Where's Polly? Polly to do polls. Okay, so this is an app that you can insert, but there used to be a polling button. Yeah. But let's have a look at Polly. Yes.
Chris, I think you, I don't know if it's maybe a general setting that is done through IT, but yes, there used to be a polling, but if you click on at the top there of your apps, and then you say apps, and then you search poll, POL, yeah, and then it should come up, and then you add it.
Yeah, there's polls. There we go. But now you have to add it as an app. It's not built in anymore.
No.
That's interesting. Why did they remove that feature? Okay. But this is where you can plug in apps. Add the app and just sign in with your see it goes back to MS Forms again. So they've taken out the basic polling thing and they've created it, they've incorporated it with MS Forms. But choose one or two. Option 1, option 2. Records responses, share results, preview, and let's send it. See, now you've got the poll there where you can select. I preferred the old one. You want to take a vote there? In the chat box, you can take a vote. Only 3 people have voted. 4 people. 5. Okay, so it is still there. I think they've just went and overcomplicated it, Louise. But it's still there.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Shona Lee.
Pleasure.
Okay. So, any other questions for Teams? No questions regarding Teams? Going once, going twice. Let me just get back to people so that I can see what you're doing. And then we're going to have a look at YouTube. Now, just by a show of hands, okay, Inessentia, question?
Yes, I have a question. You see, when I normally have online classes, I use PowerPoint as my blackboard or whiteboard.
Yeah.
Can you please show me maybe a better way to use another board, maybe that is inbuilt in Teams?
There is actually, I haven't used it in years, but there used to be one right here. Any other colleagues able to help you?
Yes, I have used it, so it used to be there.
Yeah,
But since lockdown, we're teaching face-to-face. But I think if you go to add apps and just try Whiteboard, you might get it.
We're going to have to, looks like they've put everything under apps now.
And I think one of the other secrets that I've found is that you mustn't share your screen if you're trying to teach using PowerPoint online. You must actually share it as a PowerPoint presentation, and it gives you more functionality.
It gives the students more functionality as well, so that they can page around. But then
you can stop that paging.
Can you?
Yeah, you can block them from doing that.
Okay.
But then it means you can use your little laser pointer and you can switch between the whiteboard easier too.
Interestingly enough, now my polls is back. Now
maybe
that
once you use it,
yeah.
it maybe stays in your like little favorites folder.
Seems that way. And whiteboard. Name your whiteboard. Hello. Save. Creating a tab. Where's the tab? I've got my polls here. But the tab's not here. It says it's creating the whiteboard, but it's not there. Who asked that question?
It's me.
Nessentia.
Yes.
I am going to get back to you on that one. Just
okay, thanks.
Any other colleagues want to try it quickly on their sides and see if they can get it to work?
Yes, you don't have to share your screen to see it, do you?
The whiteboard?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you see the whiteboard?
No.
Because I can't see it. Yeah, I can go to the apps and I literally click the whiteboard, give a whiteboard a name, click save, and setting up your whiteboard tab, and it is not here. It's supposed to.
Chris, if you go to share.
Yeah.
And then you just look a bit further down on my share. I've got a whiteboard option.
I'm going to stop sharing. Share. So I literally have to go out of my sharing and then open a whiteboard.
Yeah, I can find it when I hit share now. There we go.
Yeah.
My Teams, love you.
Okay. So it is under share. There I've learned something new. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Hey. So everybody's able to share their whiteboards now.
Can you teach us how to write legibly using a mouse?
The day I learned that trick. Okay. Who of you have got YouTube channels? Anyone here? Just by a show of hands. About 1, 2. Only 3. 3 people.
Please, maybe what do you mean?
Okay.
Maybe what do you mean?
If you've got your own YouTube channel, you should know that you've got your own YouTube channel. Because technically speaking, if you've got a Gmail account, then technically speaking, you've already got a YouTube channel. Okay. So I'm going to show you a 3-minute video on how to create a YouTube channel. Kelly Ann, do you want to say something? Or is that just your hand up for, yeah, okay.
Sorry.
So I'm going to show you a 3-minute video on how to create a YouTube channel. Now, what I need you to keep in mind is it is going to go extremely fast, and going through this process, remember RTFS, read the friggin' screen. YouTube will actually show you how to do it, but this is so that you can get a concept of how to do it. What I would suggest you do is go to YouTube and just type in the question, how to create to see this video again. Okay. So, and also keep in mind, this is for a commercial channel. This guy is planning on getting hits and monetizing, making money out of it. So he is coming from a very commercial side. But here is the quick video. Let's get to it.
Let's assume you're a complete beginner and you don't even have a YouTube account. Click sign in and then create a new account. Here you'll have 3 choices. Generally speaking, it's best to choose the business option as it gives you the most flexibility and future-proofs your YouTube channel. You'll have to fill out all of this stuff yourself because I don't know your name and I do not want to know what your password is. Now you have a YouTube account, you need a YouTube channel. So go to your incredibly bland profile picture and create a new channel. This is where you can upload a much more exciting profile picture. And it's where you can decide on your channel name. When it comes to channel names, my advice is to keep it simple, make it memorable, and easy to spell. And try to make it unique, because if your channel name is generic, you'll be much harder to find. Whatever name you decide on, you can change it later, and that's all you need to do at this point to create your own YouTube channel that'll look like this. Oh, and if you go to your profile image again, you can now navigate directly to your YouTube channel or switch accounts, view all channels, and set up another YouTube channel if you're feeling somewhat ambitious about this whole YouTube adventure. Right now, your channel won't have anything on it, so again, go to your profile picture and navigate to the YouTube studio. This is the back end of your YouTube channel where you can do loads of stuff, including switching between light and dark desktop modes. Spruce up your channel, scroll down the left-hand navigation bar until you see customization. Alternatively, if you are on your YouTube channel, clicking the customize button will take you to the same place. Since your channel won't have any content yet, the layout tab is a bit useless, so head on over to the basic info tab where you can change your channel name if you want to and add a brief description of what your channel is about. Unfortunately, until you get 100 subscribers, you're stuck with this random website address for your channel, but you can add links to any external sites you have. They'll look like this on your desktop channel homepage, but they don't show up on the YouTube mobile app. And whatever you do, make sure this contact email is not the same as your YouTube account email. What the hell? Over on the branding page, you can change your profile image and upload a banner that appears at the top of your channel page. Try not to overcomplicate your banner. It should be designed to let the viewer know if they are in the right place as quickly as possible. And now for the most important thing you need to do after you create your channel: verify your channel, and you're going to need one of these to do it. So back on that YouTube studio screen, this time you want to go to settings, followed by the channel section and then the feature eligibility tab. When you verify your channel, you unlock mission critical features such as custom thumbnails, longer videos and live streaming. Click the verify phone number button, follow the on-screen instructions, and you should get verified within a couple of minutes. If you jump back to the advanced settings in the channel section, you'll see this question about setting your channel as made for kids. If you don't change this setting here, you'll be asked about it every time you upload a video. If you're confident your videos are not strictly made for kids, you can set this to no, but research this question before you answer it. Another thing you should do in the settings screen is over on the community section under the defaults tab. Holding inappropriate comments should already be on, but tick this improved strictness checkbox as YouTube has been having a lot of trouble with spam comments recently. There are tons of things you can do in the upload default section of a settings, but the most important one is visibility. Set this to private or unlisted so that you have time to properly prepare and optimize the videos before you publish them. Remember when earlier I suggested setting up your YouTube channel as a business? Well, this is one of the reasons why. On the permission screen, you can invite people and assign them to different roles on your channel. This is probably one to take note of for the future when you're uber successful. YouTube has a massive audio library stuffed full of free music and sound effects that you can download and use on your videos. If you use them, you won't get any copyright claims and you will be able to monetize those videos in the future. Also, at some point, you will need to enable two-factor authentication on your channel, and since it's an extra layer of security, you might as well do it now. And one more thing, if you're not in a YouTube studio, click on your profile image and go to settings, then advanced settings, and you can delete your channel if you've realized this is all one big, terrible mistake.
How's that for an information overload? Who followed anything there?
Not me, I'm too old.
Not me. Not me either. Not me.
I actually did.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I think you can only follow if you actually have a YouTube channel.
Let's assume you're a complete...
That is correct. It is only if you've got a YouTube channel that you will follow because you know what they're talking about. But if you want to create your YouTube channel, that is basically what you're going to have to go through much slower. So go and watch a video and take it step by step. Now, that was putting the cart before the horse. I want to ask a question. Why would you want your own YouTube channel?
I think for me, it usually helps me when I've created a video content and I want to share it with students. I first upload it to YouTube and then I can share the link on WhatsApp and they can just click on that link and watch it. I don't have to start emailing or sharing huge video files. I just send them a link and they can click on the link and voila, it's available to them.
That's a good way to use it. Any other way and any other reasons for having a YouTube channel?
Can I jump in?
Yeah, please.
For videos that I've made myself that aren't YouTube videos and I want to show them to the students, I'll embed them into my PowerPoint slides, but then I'll also put the YouTube link below the slide. Then the students can go back in their own time, watch the videos again if they want to. So it just makes the videos available to the students after you're done in class.
Great. Shaunalee, I think you wanted to say something?
For us at Health and Wellness, it's basically because we deal with such a broad spectrum. We have a lot of topics that we talk about and so forth. And also we want to be able to reach beyond TUT students as well, you know, the community around us and so forth. So we're looking at a broader spectrum of population.
Okay. So there's all kinds of reasons why you would want this. And basically all it is this web page that you now have your own little section in where you can upload your videos. Now, the question arises, if we've got the LMS and the LMS can deal with your videos, except now for Shaunalee, which gave a different explanation there. Why would you want to put the videos, your videos that you've created onto the LMS and onto YouTube? Isn't that just double work?
For me, I think the one on YouTube is backup.
Okay.
Because TUT LMS does change. We used to be on Blackboard, now we're on Brightspace, and we might be on something else some other time. So YouTube is just backup, extra layer of security, if you like.
Yes, that is exactly the answer I was looking for. So you have got a place where you can store your videos and you can access and download them again if you ever need to. Personally, I have also got a channel for my private videos. And what I've done is I've got quite a lot of videos that was on VHS that I converted to digital, and I upload old family videos, and I placed those in my YouTube channel. And then videos that I shoot with my cell phone, I upload it there to store it. But the nice thing is, if anybody else in my family wants to see it, and I've uploaded it as private, so it's not open to the public, but I can share a link with my family members if I want them to go and have access to these videos. So something that you can keep in mind, because we tend to take all these photos and record all these videos, and they just end up on our phone and being stuck there forever. Okay. Any questions regarding YouTube before we get to ChatGPT? Going once, going twice. We are done with YouTube. Okay. Okay. Show of hands. Who has worked on ChatGPT before? Gillian, of course you have.
The things I do instead of what I'm supposed to be doing.
Silke and Caroline. So we've got some people that have been here before. Now, ChatGPT is actually both brilliant and extremely stupid at the same time. Because it is artificial, it is not going to give you factual things. And the free version of ChatGPT, the only information it's got is up to, I think, the year 2021. So if you're going to start asking complicated things, you're going to get complicated responses. The kind of thing that I like to use it for, because I am one of those people that I can live my whole life in bullet points. If I had to write something, that's why I'll probably never get my doctorate. I hate writing. So if I can tell a piece of software the following: write a 2-minute video script regarding safety in the workplace. Mention things like PPE and fire hazards. And I press enter. You see what the software is doing for me?
It's writing your doctorate.
I suppose you could use it to write your doctorate, but beware. It does what people call hallucinating, which means it makes up its own facts sometimes. So whatever gets created here, you still need to go through it and edit it and make sure that what is being said here is actual facts. Okay. But instead of me starting this from scratch, I have got a basis to work on. So it can actually save you quite a bit of time. Okay, so you're starting to see the potential of the software.
Yes.
Okay. Is it
It's
scary?
amazing.
It is quite amazing. It actually saves you so much time. And the more you use it, the more you learn what kind of questions get you a better response. And the more information you can put in your question, the better your response is going to be.
You can even use it to write code.
You can use it to write code if you're a computer programmer.
If you just need to use R to analyze data, you can ask it what code you need for. It says write a code to do X, Y, and Z in R, and it throws out the code and some tips. It's fabulous.
Yes. What you can also do is, if you have got a document and you want, especially when it comes to language editing and that kind of thing, if you put those things into and you say rewrite the following. Well, I don't have anything at hand now, but let's say I've got a document, but I want the document to sound more formal or more casual or more academically sound, that kind of thing. When you copy and paste, so you say rewrite the following in a casual voice, and you copy and paste your document, slap it in there, it will rewrite that document in that style. Okay.
Chris, I just want to ask, so I see Kobus said, and when submitting for plagiarism, these programs picks up if ChatGPT has written it. Does Turnitin pick it up, or which programs, Kobus?
No,
Yes, Turnitin.
No.
Okay, thanks.
But it is not very accurate. There's actually a big issue in America now, where some software picked up that students used ChatGPT to write their assignments, and they did not. So we are getting to a point where the way you ask your questions are going to become very important. So if you want a student to write something, try and make it as personal as possible, that they have to put things more in a personal experience kind of way. That way you can bypass this kind of thing. But the reality is, students are going to use this, and you're not going to be able to stop them. But as adults, they will still be able to use this. So you have to think about how this is going to impact your classroom. And there are a lot of papers written and opinions given. So I just wanted to introduce you to ChatGPT, and I would like you to go and play with it. Go to chat.openai.com and you register, and then you can use the free version and play around with it and see what kind of things you can do with it. Any questions? And now I'm scared to ask about any questions because I know very little about this.
Hi, colleagues.
Yes.
Yes, I normally use ChatGPT for when I want to draft a question, but like you said, I also need to double check what kind of an information it has given me so that I can edit it and suit my question. I wasn't aware that it can be used for research because if it can be used for research, it means there could be a lot of plagiarism because it doesn't give you any response that has got references there. But when you want to draft a question, especially if you teach a theory class, you can throw in a question and say, what do students struggle with in special schools? Then it will give you that kind of a question. Or you can even tell it a question on challenges in working in special schools. Then it will give you that. Another thing that I often find it important in it is that if you give it a wrong acronym, because I'm in technical education. When I speak about automotive repair and maintenance, when we abbreviate it, we say ARM, and you find that it doesn't understand it as automotive repair and maintenance. It can give you everything beautiful, but in what it understands ARM to be, and that's where we need to be careful in using it. Thanks.
Yeah. So it's very much in its baby shoes, in infancy. I'm going to try this, write 10 multiple choice questions on basic economics and see what I get. Do we have any economics lecturers in the room today? should have
I just got
actually.
it. I just got it to
Yes.
write a rap song about TUC. It's fabulous.
Yeah. You want to share that rap song with us?
I don't rap very well, but it goes, yo, listen up. Let me introduce the scene. We're ripping TUT like the dream. Located in South Africa, where greatness resides, where minds are elevated, we're talking strides.
Hey.
It's brilliant. I can. I'll share it in the chat box.
Yeah. So you can have lots of fun with it. Think of ways that you can start incorporating this into your classroom, because I can tell you your students are going to do it. So rather be on their level and know about these technologies. And yeah, this multiple choice question is not working for some reason. But usually it is excellent for generating multiple choice questions. And if you can give it the basic info, if you can say first year level university economics or chemistry, it will actually generate some really, really good questions. And then you can just go and refine those questions for your use. It's a good place to create a basis, a starting point. It saves you a lot of time. It can save you a lot of time. Okay. But don't trust it, because it is going to make bugger ups. So I just want you to be
Sorry, Chris.
aware of it. Yeah.
I think also what it's going to probably force us to do is do more practical things.
Mhm.
So I think it's going to have more creatively. We have to do more hands-on things, see the students' content, knowledge, more oral assessments, more presentations, more practical things, and something that would not be given. So I think it will get us to be more hands-on. I think
Yes.
that's actually a good thing as well.
Yes. It is not it's not great news for workload, unless you plan better. But yes, it is going to have a major impact on our lives. Okay. But please go and create yourself a little account and go and play around with it. It is a fascinating thing. You can also go onto YouTube and watch videos on how people are using ChatGPT and how it is impacting education, and how people are finding workarounds around that. Okay, so I just want you to be aware of this technology, and I want you to play around with it and see how you can get creative and becoming a better teacher using these things. And then that is it from me. This was a short session. I hope you found it valuable. I usually start my day with this one because it is so not as impressive as my other classes.
I think that the addition of ChatGPT to this presentation was very, I would say, innovative, quite interesting. Thank you for adding this. It's something that we need to be aware of, because like you said, all the students, most of them know about it, they're using it. And if we are left behind, then we'll be outdated. But thank you for adding it.
I have a question, please.
Yes.
Why did you not mention TikTok? Is YouTube not already outdated?
TikTok, the problem I have with TikTok is there are a lot of security concerns around TikTok. I know that's part of why the Americans, the government wants to ban it and blah blah blah. So yeah, if you can use TikTok creatively in your classes, go for it. It is very data intensive. And yeah, if you can use TikTok, great. I'm definitely not going to stop you.
No, I haven't used it. I'm just wondering about that, because
Yeah,
the young people seem to like it for some reason.
Yes. If there are so many online things that you can use. Instagram, for instance, is also a great tool. I think I should have a look into it and see. Maybe I know I have watched a couple of videos on TikTok because I'm one of those people. When I get into bed at night and I'm bored, I open TikTok and I watch all kinds of things. The only problem with TikTok is 2 hours of your life can just instantly vanish without you realizing it. But I have found on TikTok that there are guys that show you quick tips on using Excel sheets, how to do amazing things on Excel sheets. So there is definitely teaching happening on TikTok. I just don't think that it is, yeah, I don't know. How do you feel about the possibility of using those kinds of social medias?
No, I don't know. I stay away from visual stuff. I don't like to be anywhere. So
Okay.
so it's not my thing. I'm just always wondering about it
Yeah.
because the youngsters are using it. So I'm just wondering, like, YouTube, TikTok, it's all video stuff.
Yeah, no, there are so many. There are really, really so many. But I'm scared of going down that rabbit hole. But with TikTok specifically, there are security concerns and data concerns. So I'll be careful of TikTok at this point in time. But then again, you can't go through life being afraid of everything.
Oh,
Yeah.
Chris,
Thank you.
also with the TikTok, like I go on Instagram. I've got Instagram. I prefer Instagram. But I was talking about the students, and they're on TikTok. So I'm a generation ahead. I'm millennial, so they're
Yeah.
Gen Z. So I can feel the generation gap.
Yeah, no, I'm
Instagram
Gen
is
X.
the past.
I'm Gen X, and I'm actually what's it called? It's Gen Exon or something like that. It is the last bit of a Gen X. So I was raised without a television, but I was young enough when computers were introduced that I didn't get left behind. So I'm on that borderline apparently.
They say we're the best, Chris, because you can deal with both.
Exactly. We are not sensitive at all.
Chris, just one question. How do we then access recordings, session recordings, especially for Microsoft Teams? If I can take you back a bit there.
About half an hour after the session, you will see in the chat box, in the chat of the session, the video recording will be there.
It automatically generated, or
If it's recorded,
the organizer must distribute?
No, it's automatically generated. Let
Oh,
me open my, I'm just going to share my screen with you again. And I'll show you some previous chats here. Okay, so I go into my chat. This online tool for education that was earlier this morning. I look here. Oh no, this is what we're currently in. Free video production tools this morning. There is the recording.
Oh, awesome. Thank you.
So it just takes about half an hour before it appears there, before it's processed. But in your old chats, if anything is recorded, you will see that those recordings are there. They are only there for a couple of months. So if you want to keep them, you have to download them and place them somewhere. This is why the ALPs that are being done online, I actually go and take the ALP sessions, I download them and place them on the TUT YouTube channel. But yeah, everything gets generated automatically in there, in the chat box.
Okay, thank you so much. It was a great day. I've learned quite a lot. Thank you so much.
I am glad that I could assist you. Okay, Shonali?
I just want to ask a question.
Yeah.
We're only basically now starting to make use of, MS Teams as a communication tool and so forth with the
We're being
students.
forced to.
Yeah, we're being forced to.
Yeah.
So basically, we want to make use of MS Teams as solely as a communication tool and a teaching tool for our students. And what I like about the MS Teams is not much of the students' demographic information is exposed. So we are trying to move away from these WhatsApp groups to use basically MS Teams to replace the WhatsApp groups because of that exposure and because of the sensitivity of how we use our groups. So when we form channels and so forth within a group, we use that as communication with the students. But my question now to the lecturers and those that use MSTs more regularly than what we have, how interactive have your students? Are they accepting to it? Are they actually interacting on it? How do some of your views and some of your personal feelings feel about the MS Teams as a communication tool?
Any feedback from you guys? Kellyanne?
Thanks, I can try. I think the students will give back what you put in. So I think if you're just sitting there dead behind the screen, reading something off, they're going to fall asleep. But if you're asking them to be interactive, every now and then I always leave my video on. And I actually watched an interesting video about how to present online, and they were saying, you know, make sure your hands are moving and near your face when you're presenting online. So you're not just sitting there like this head. And then I do ask them for feedback. I say, I want to see a thumbs up. I want to see hearts. I want to see anything. And then I use the polling tool quite a bit too, but it's exhausting. A half-hour online lecture, I feel like I've been run over by a steamroller afterwards because it's really, for me, it takes a lot of input to be enthusiastic at a screen. And, you know, there's a whole debate about cameras on, cameras off. And I know from online meetings, if cameras are on, I'm sitting up and I'm paying attention. If cameras are off, my feet are on the desk, I'm looking at my telephone and drinking coffee. But there's you know, there's many good social reasons and data reasons why students may not want to turn their cameras on. So there's pros and cons, I guess. But I think cameras on definitely makes you more interactive and makes you pay attention.
Okay, thank you.
It also comes down to how you plan your class. And this is, for instance, why I say MS Teams is terrible for content delivery. There are better ways of content delivery. If you use this session to have discussions and things like that, then that is a better application of a tool. Cool. Silke, you asked you want access to this morning session. I want to try something. If you go onto that PDF document where you linked to this session and you click on one of the morning sessions, are you able to access those chats? If you can't, if you can access those chats, you can access the video. If you can't, then send me an email and I will send you a link to those recordings. Silke, is that fine with you?
Yeah, thanks. I will try. I just have to go over and find it. I'll do that. Thank you very much.
Okay, because I'm not sure if you weren't in a session whether you can still access the chat, but theoretically, if you have got the link to that session, you should be able to access the chat. Otherwise, just send me an email and I will send you a link directly. Okay. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate your time today. If you know of anyone else that should attend these sessions, I will be doing them in another month's time. I think the next one is scheduled, I think, for the 13th of July. If you want to spread the news, I would appreciate that. Thank you for your time. If you have any further questions, feel free to contact me and we can chat. If you want to start a video project and you don't know where to begin and you need help, contact me and we can get you started.
Thank
Take
you, Chris.
care.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Chris.
Bye.
All the best.
Thank you,
Bye.
everybody. Thank you, Chris.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Bye.